Hello, hello, my guitar player friends out there in the real world. It's Jeff from jeffrey-thomas.com, and I'm going to preview my guitar tab for Can't Help Falling in Love by Mr. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. And I'm following, as best you can on the guitar, all the piano arpeggios that are signature on the tune, and try to do my best to give right-hand suggestions for the picking pattern. But anyway, enough talking. Let's go ahead and run through the tune, and then we'll come back in and talk. Ready, go. But and there's the first page. Thank you, good night. So details, it just goes on, with that kind of arpeggio pattern, and I think it pushes over to page 2 or 3, but I have the whole thing done. This is a pretty heavily requested tune, and I've seen it hacked. So let's not hack it. Let's go ahead and keep it in the original key. Let's not capo, and let's get some of these chords like real guitar players do. So first off, we're in 3/4. So I'm feeling the tune as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And then we start out with a basic D, first position D. You can finger it this way. That's the way I wrote it. Maybe I should read my own tab. Anyway, or you can bar it like so. One way or another, down here in the right hand, this is the important stuff. So your thumb is P, first finger is I, middle finger is M, and your ring finger is A. This is in all the classical guitar method books. Sometimes you'll see a stray T for your thumb. I just, let's keep it the same, people. So this is how the letter names are numbered. Your arpeggio pattern on the D chord is going to be P, I, M, A, M, I. Nice and easy. And I'm using in the right hand what's called a free stroke. So all the notes are very light, and I'm bouncing away from the guitar. So I'm not, it's not the opposite of a free stroke is a rest stroke, which is if you're going to play scales. Right? But we're not doing that here. We're doing free stroke on arpeggios. Okay, and then our A chord, same right hand pattern. P, I, M, A, M, I. And then here, this is what snags up a lot of people. You're going to go to a C shape for a D. So why am I saying C shape? Well, if we go back to a C shape, there's your first position C. That chord is movable, and you're going to move it up here for D. A lot of people complain about this one, but that's where the work goes in. So, and then finish up with this D here in 5th position. So that's right, and that allows you to get that sequence of inversions for that chord. Then when you start the verse, you're staying here on this D. Okay, and just on the subject of D or A or whatever, a lot of times within a tune you're going to have multiple chords, chord voicings of the same letter name. And people say, well, why is this one D, but then you're calling this one D? Well, okay, the only answer for that question is music theory. And I'll answer it right now. This D, the notes in a D chord, if you're dealing with a triad, are D, F sharp, and A. Okay? So if you're in first position here with this D shape, this is not the only D in the world for the guitar, or anything that can play a chord. So if you look at the notes, this is D, this is A, this is D again, and that's F sharp. So the notes in a D triad are D, F sharp, and A. Your root, your third, and your 5th. Okay? So when you move up here and then we call this D, what have we got? We've got D again, then we have F sharp on the 2nd string, and then we have A. So it's a tumbling of the same 3 notes. If we come back here to this D, we've got D on the 5th string, F sharp on the 4th string, A on the 3rd string, and then D again here. Once again, the same 3 notes in a different interval order. And this is where the word voicing comes in. It's a different chord voicing. This is the normal terminology if you're going to deal with a keyboard player, a guitar player, etc. The voicing of the chord. So anyway, enough of that sidetrack. So we're at the verse, F sharp minor, specific voicing of that F sharp minor there. Then B minor over A, just taking your first finger off from the bar and getting that. Then G here as a bar, D over F sharp, back to A, back up to G, A, and then B minor, and then the tune structure and chord progression continues on the other pages. So anyway, hopefully we didn't get too sidetracked today. Lots to talk about in terms of explaining the music, the technique. This one is great for nylon string or steel string. Most of my students are playing it on steel string actually, but I figured I'd run the tutorial with my nylon string. And this will get you started. If you're interested in the rest of the tab, just go ahead and request it through my website. I don't spam people. You send me your email. I'm only going to send you the music. I'm not going to send you my weekly newsletter, okay? Because I don't have one. All right, and hopefully that was a good walkthrough and get you on track for the tune. Thanks.